Greetings once again from the corner on the deck. It's the end of the 4th of July weekend. This is Monday, and in about 1 hour I've got to head out the door to work, which I don't want to go. You know, after you've had a 3-day weekend, who wants to go back to work? Not me. One of these days I'll retire. Hopefully it'll be in the not too distant future. Anyway, putting all that aside, which is easy for me to do really, in this video you're going to see a segment that deals with harvesting potatoes. And some of you who are just now tuning in maybe not have been keeping up with the videos. Some of you are going to say, what's this all about? Well, I'll tell you what it's all about. Last year I saw something on YouTube where people were growing potatoes in barrels, you know, plastic barrels and metal barrels. And I said, you know, that's kind of a neat idea. I should give that a try. So I went out and got a couple of plastic barrels and I filled it with compost and mulch and all kinds of other crap. And I grew my potatoes in there. They were side by side, these two barrels. And, you know, they grew up real good and they mushroomed out. And I said, yeah, I was really expecting some pretty big things. I kept it fertilized, I kept it watered. Well, at the end of the year, when I dumped the barrels over, let's just say that the yield was not quite what was expected, okay? Well, that prompted a fellow up in Portland, Oregon, one of our good subscribers, Buzz 1151. Old Buzz contacted me shortly thereafter. Incidentally, this is last fall. He said, you know, he says, I think I can grow more potatoes than you can. I can grow them bigger, I can grow them better, and I can do it, you know, in half the time with 1/10 of the work and all this other stuff, you know. So he said, what do you say? Are you up for the challenge? You up for the test, the contest? And I said, yeah, why not? I'm up for anything. You know, that's the kind of thing that always intrigues me. You know, win, lose, or draw, I'm going to be in there. Anyway, the springtime came. I planted my potatoes in pots. He said his backyard had been fallow for 25 years. Nothing grown in it except weeds, I guess. And he was going to dig it all up. And I said, no, wait a minute now. You know, there is a limit to this thing. I've got, you know, just a few pots. You're going to have this big old backyard. You know, I don't think it's quite fair. He said, no, I'll grow the same amount of potatoes that you do. I just grow them in a larger spot. And I said, well, okay, you know. Anyway, it became time to harvest the potatoes on July 4th for me. His is still growing because up in Portland, Oregon, he got a later start. But you know, during the entire give and take on this, the entire growing season of the potatoes, his videos, you need to look up his videos. He calls them the Great Potato Challenge of 2015. Buzz 1151 is his YouTube channel. And you need to check out, he does fantastic work on radios. Very good radio restorer. He started out not knowing anything. I'm very impressed with how far he's progressed. And, but, you know, there comes a time when you gotta shut a guy down. And, you know, the 4th of July was the day for me. Harvesting my potatoes, showing him what the crop was, intimidating him. Maybe he'd just go out there and mow down his potatoes and won't even harvest them. I figured that's what would happen. So anyway, it's time, you know, for the reckoning between Buzz and me. So here's, you know, later on in the video, you'll see the results of our harvest. We're back to the veneer job on this realistic STA 46 cabinet, and I've got the veneer on. I just gave it a very nice light sanding, real light, and I'm about to put some paste wood filler on it. It's I use Constantine's, and it's brown, and you thin it down with a turpentine or mineral spirits. I used mineral spirits this time, and all we're going to do is take a rag, dip it down in there and get some of it on there, and we're going to start filling in the pores on this black walnut. It's got a number of pores, so I need to do that just a little at a time. Just keep filling it in. Of course, it's going to darken up from the brown, and then once I get it all done, we'll let it dry, and then we'll start wiping it off, and I'll come back at that point. For those of you who haven't seen me do this before, you just go ahead and put your you want a consistency of your paste wood filler. You want it about the consistency of heavy cream. That's what it says on the back of the can. which is, you know, always usually what I do anyway. So you go ahead and you move it around. You know, you're filling. What you're doing is you're filling in the grain. It's a grain filler. Some woods don't require it. Not all woods require pastewood filler because the grain is so tight. But this black walnut, I was looking at it, and it's got a lot of grain that it's very fine grain, but grain nonetheless, that needs to be filled. And the way you do it is you go ahead and you move it around a little section at a time till you get it just about filled up, you think, back, you know, across the grain, and then you go lightly with the grain, okay, lightly with the grain, because if you put too much pressure on what you just put in the grain, going across it, and then you put too much pressure going this way, you'll pull it right back out again. Makes no sense, right? And of course not. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going lightly with the grain, like so, and I'll give that thing time to dry, and then we'll wipe it down completely. And now we'll do both ends. Well, she's starting to dry. Now normally, you know, you would take, there's a couple ways of doing this actually. You can take the amount of pastewood filler you think you're going to need. You take it out, put it in a little cup, and then add a little bit of low you know, odor mineral spirits or turpentine. Then mix it up until you get the consistency you want. And then I just took it out of the can this time because the can's getting pretty low. I bought 3 kinds. I bought a natural color, brown, and dark walnut. And I'll tell you what, I've used a brown more than any of it. So anyway, it's starting to dry pretty good. And most folks say, well, you need burlap to get it off with. You know, a nice coarse kind of cloth like burlap. But that's really not the case. You can use burlap, yes, and I do have burlap. But you can also use a coarse towel. I have a really coarse dish towel that the wife let me have, an old one. It's really got really coarse things. So when this thing completely dries, I'll use this to go ahead and clean it off. And then actually, I think I have another one here. Yeah, I have 2 or 3 of these suckers, okay? To make sure I had enough. And then when we're done, we're going to go ahead and stain this thing special walnut. Special walnut. But first, before we stain it, we're going to use the pre-stain wood conditioner. Very important, very important. We'll get to that as we go. Alright, she's dried enough that I can go ahead and wipe off the excess. We start again, same way. Across the grain. Across the grain. And then we kind of wipe her down, all the way down. All the way down. All the way to the end. And of course up here may not be across the grain, but you just do what you can, okay? You don't want to catch any of that veneer we just laid on there. Just kind of across the grain. And then after we get that all done, then we go ahead and we go with the grain, very lightly. Again, with the grain. And we want this cabinet to be dark, which is what it was to begin with, okay? Well, happy Independence Day, everybody. Today is July 4th. And it is the day to open up our first potato pot. You know, it is the day that Buzz, 1151, up there in Portland, Oregon, meets his Waterloo. So we're going to go ahead and open up our first pot and just stun him. It'll be his day of loss, you know, his day of reckoning, and my day of total victory. Well, here are the old pots. Unfortunately, it has rained for the last 3 days. I didn't want this to happen. I wanted to, you know, stop watering them I initially thought the last week, but with the way the humidity and heat's been down here lately, it's not totally hot, but it was hot enough to dry it out too quickly. So I was going to, you know, not water them for the last 3 days. Well, you know, the old rain took care of that for me. Now there's the basket we're going to put the potatoes in. And last year we used the same basket. We didn't quite fill it up like I wanted. So this year I'm hoping for, you know, many more things with the basket. But anyway, wifey, she's already given me that skeptical look about my potatoes. I can't believe it. A proven product all summer long so far. Huge plants, beautiful plants. We should have so many potatoes they'll just go over the top of this thing. So let's get started here. All right, here's the first one. Ooh, it's heavy. It's laden with potatoes. I know it is. Let's go ahead and cut these things out of here. Cut these out of here. Get all these plants taken care of. I got wifey watching. You're watching, aren't you?
I am.
Yes, you are. You're going to eat crow this year, you know.
Okay.
Last year you laughed at my taters.
All right.
Okay, here we go. Here we go. All right, here we go. Buzz, prepare to meet your doom. Ooh, what do we see right there? Can you see it in the camera?
Yeah,
ooh, I see a tater right there. There's a bug on it too. I'm glad maybe it's a good idea that I harvested them when I did. Let's see what we got. Oh, look at this. Look at this. Oh my goodness, do we have taters? Yes, we have taters. We haven't got too many. I don't know why that is. Oh, we didn't get too many out of this deal, but that's more already than we got last year, isn't it?
Yes, it is. You didn't even get one last year.
Yeah, I got some.
Not good yet, edible.
Well, it didn't quite fill up the basket.
Didn't eat.
No, that's not. Oh, I got another one. Yes, a little small. Let me get rid of these things. All right. Not too bad. Not as many as I would have liked to have, but might have had something to do with the soil. I don't know. Let's go ahead and do the second one here. What do I do with the scissors? Here we go. Let's get this other one out here. I'll do the second one, and then we'll go ahead and do all the rest off camera, and then I'll show you the amazing harvest I was able to get this year. The amazing harvest. Oh, already it's amazing. We got 4 potatoes. Oh, yes, yes. Put this one over here. Oh, look at here. Yes, we're not getting too many potatoes here. Do you think that potato spider might have hit?
There's a bunch of spiders in there.
Yeah, I don't care about those spiders. We don't care about no stinking spiders. Oh, there's a small one. Not too much. Oh man, I'm getting tired of harvesting all these potatoes already, honey. There's another one. Look at that. Wow. Oh my goodness. Not bad, not bad. Better than what we had. You want to keep these little ones?
No, thank you.
No, Dean, don't. You don't want them like these are like new potatoes for your bean pot?
No.
No.
Not even. It might be a bean.
The bean might be mistaken for a bean, huh?
Uh-huh.
All right, one more. I'll tell you what, we're on a roll here, people. One more. I gotta. So far, we've got. This is a sad situation here so far. I think what it is they're just the other pots that are going to do really well. You know. Yeah,
I do too.
Yeah, me too. I'm glad you're behind me all the way, baby. You're behind me all the way.
All the way. I love getting a good laugh.
Hey, excuse me.
Well, I do.
I don't care.
A good laugh.
What the heck is that? There's a worm down in there. Ooh, that's a good sign. That means bigger potatoes. Ooh. Whoa. Look at this. Look at this. We got a little tiny one. Did you want that little tiny one?
No, thank you, hon.
You don't want the tiny one? Okay. Well, I don't know what's
Bunch of little tiny ones.
Yeah. Oh, there's another big one. We're going to have a few potatoes here.
Big one? That's a new potato.
That's a new potato? It just looks like a potato to me. Okay, I guess. I'll tell you what.
Well, you haven't even saved me $3 yet at the grocery store.
They must be in the rest of the pots.
All right, get it going.
All right, I think what we'll do is we'll just go ahead and shut it off here, and we'll empty the rest of them and see what we get, okay? The potato buckets have all been harvested, and but we still have one little thing left to do. Over here, you'll remember, those of you who watch the videos, I put an extra slip that I had left over into the raised bed. Right down in there, if I can find it. Yeah, this is right there. These are the dried up stalks from it. And I said at the time, if I get better potatoes in the raised bed than I got out of the buckets, next year I'll grow them in the raised bed. So let's find out how the raised bed did. Well, guys, that's what came out of the raised bed. Pretty good sized potatoes, a couple of them, and you know, and there wasn't very much over there. So what I need to do now is just rinse off all the potatoes. I'll show you the whole crop. Well, there it is, folks, the entire harvest. Pretty amazing, isn't it? Yeah, it's amazing, all right. But that's what happens. I should have had a full basket here. I would have had a full basket if Buzz had not sent down Dickel as his potato crop saboteur. He came down, wiped it all out and everything. I was lucky to get these. But you know, I just keep my chin up. Yes, I do. I keep my chin up. You know why? I'll tell you why. Because as all of you who follow my videos, you all know there is a plan B. I just finished sanding the entire cabinet after that pastewood filler had dried all night, and I'm running a tack cloth over it right now. A tack cloth, for those of you who don't know, you can pick them up at Lowe's. It's a finishing tack cloth. What it is nothing but cheesecloth. It comes in this kind of package. You're usually 2 to a package. You can use these forever. Just keep storing them, wrap them up real tight, and they never dry out. But it has a kind of a sticky feel to it, almost like the back of one of these, sticky Post-it notes. That's about the stickiness. And they use them on cars. They use them on furniture whenever they sand. And what it does is it picks up the minute particles of sanding dust. But you go over it real light. You don't sit there. You don't push down hard on it, because that stickiness on that rag will get on that wood if you push down too hard, and then of course it'll never take a stain. So we're going ahead and giving it the old tack treatment. I like to do a tack treatment quite a bit when I work on stain. I mean, I'm not the best woodworker in the world, but I don't want to at least have a bunch of sanding dust in the finish. The next step is to go ahead and put the Minwax pre-stain wood conditioner on it. It's a sealer, all right. It'll seal the wood. And, normally I would put maybe 2 or 3 coats. If this were a vintage antique radio, I would put 2 or 3 coats of the pastewood filler on, thinner and thinner each time, and then sand in between. But I don't know. I don't think it needs it. The veneer was pretty good. So what we're going to do is seal it now, and this will enable the stain to go on evenly, and you don't have to worry about this thing, do I have to paint it in a certain direction. No, you don't. It's just real thin stuff, and it will soak in all by its lonesome. But you have to get your stain on within 2 hours. Now, like I've said before in other videos, some people just put the pre-stain treatment on and leave it, let it dry, and as much as it wants to, and then wipe it off and just keep that on there. You don't have to stain, which may wind up being the case with this. I don't know. All I'll have to do is, I may have to do a little staining back here in the back corner. That looks pretty nice already. Got a nice wood grain to it. Jeez, I like that. Anyway, after you can leave, just go with the pre-stain treatment, and then after it dries, you wipe it off, and you give it 24 hours to kind of really settle down nice. You can put a clear coat over the top of it. So let me go ahead and finish up the sides. And then I'll wipe it down in about, maybe 20-30 minutes. I'll go have me a cup of coffee and just let it soak in. Well, not bad so far. What I'm going to do now is I've gone ahead and wiped off all of the excess pre-stain treatment. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and dip, this is a staining pad, they call it. I'm going to go ahead and start staining this old cabinet. It's not going to be very, very dark, but it's not going to be very, very light either, because the original cabinet was dark, and I want this one to be dark just as much as the first one was anyway. I'm going to try to do it that way, the first finish. Alright, we're not doing too bad. This black walnut has a waviness to it on the surface. I sanded down some of it, but I'm going to have to leave it the way it is. Of course, I guess anything's better than what it was. Let's go ahead and finish this up, and then I'll let it set for a while, and we'll wipe it down. These edges, by the way, back here where we have a different color, I'm going to be masking them off and putting some toner on there, and then toning them out. We'll get rid of that stuff. You won't even know they're there, I hope. Well, that's it for now. The stain's been wiped off. We'll go ahead and let it set for 24 hours and completely dry. Then we'll come back, put a little toner along these edges, and we'll try to get her finished up. Alright, let's see if we can't take some of this perfect brown Mohawk toner. See if we can't just tone the edges. I want to just darken it up a little bit, cover up some of the blemishes and some of the patchwork right here. Yeah, just kind of make it look fairly good. I'm going to just kind of spray it on. Easy does it. When you do your toning of anything, you just kind of easy does it. You don't want to be putting it on like you're spray painting something. You just kind of one layer at a time. So it dries quick in between each application. So I'm just going to keep doing that until I get the color I want, or the chances are I'm not going to be able to completely get rid of this mark right here. It'll be noticeable, but considering what we had where the whole cabinet was destroyed, it won't be too bad. Tell you what, now that we've got the edges done, they look pretty good, but I think we need to put a little bit of toner in here and kind of darken it up just a little. Not much. We'll go ahead and give it a nice color. Doesn't take a whole lot. You got to kind of spray it from a distance. Nice big mist is what you're looking here. Look what you're looking for. That's looking better, right? Isn't that nice? Yes, it is. I just wish that it didn't have so many chips out of it. If it hadn't had so many chips out of it, it would have been really nice. By the way, we're going to wind up putting, before it's over, when we're all done, the finish we're going to put on this is Watco satin. I don't want a really super shiny cabinet. Probably could get away with semi-gloss, but I think satin would be a whole lot better. Yeah, we'll get the sides here in a minute. Well, I spent the last hour or so, I removed the faceplate on this thing, shined it all up, cleaned it all up, and got all the gunk out of it, and cleaned the chassis up down there. Looks really good. And it seems to be working really, really nice. I'm real happy with it. So, all I need to do now is just, kind of get the chassis married up with the cabinet. I have a couple of blown out light bulbs that I need to replace. All of a sudden I got light bulb problems up the wazoo. Let me show you here what I've got. In this particular stereo, this here may look like a fuse to you. See it? But it's not. This is a fuse lamp, they call it. It's 8 volts, 250 milliamps. And as you can see, it's all black in the center, blue really good. But it's a, let me get a little close up here for you. Looks just like a fuse. And I guess it acts as a fuse. They call it a fuse lamp, so it'd be, it would protect the circuit if it's shorted. And it also provides light. 2-in-1 deal. 8 volt, 250 milliamps. I'll be ordering one of those here from the same guy where I got my lamp for the Montclair SS200, for those of you who keep up with my videos. And then I have another bulb that's blown out here. This is also 8 volts, and this is 150 milliamps. It's a bayonet base. So hopefully the guy, I know that the guy I ordered my bulb from for the Montclair has these in that value, 8 volt, 250 milliamps, but I did not see on his website. I saw a lamp similar to this, but it was 250 milliamps. I don't think I want to go quite that high, but we'll see. We'll see what he's got. I sent him an email. Now, what I want to do now is get this thing married up with the cabinet as quickly as possible. It sounds great. Yeah. Ooh. Sounds like Buzz. Well, she's looking better and better by the minute. Now what I'm going to do is, like I said, I'm going to go ahead and shoot this with a couple of coats of satin, Watco clear lacquer, and then we're going to go ahead and let it dry, I think overnight, give it a light sanding tomorrow morning, and then put a second coat on. Now we're pretty much going to call that quits. So I think we'll go ahead and end the old video here. We'll pick it up in the next Mish-Mash video, maybe we can actually get the chassis back into the cabinet. We also have to paint the back edge of the cabinet black. The original color was black. Turn it around here so you can see it, but you can still see some of the black on it. We want to get that taken care of. We don't want to forget the back edges. That'll be no problem there, you know. Just take a little rag with a little bit of paint on it and go right on around. We'll do that after the finish is on, because it'll be, if any of it gets on the finish, it'll be easier to get off actually. So we'll go ahead and take our little tack cloth and make sure all the dust is off as much as we can. And then I guess we'll see you next time. So until then, this is John.